Mayor Harry Kelly,
Here.
Jen Basalega,
Here.
Councilwoman, oh, she's not here tonight. Lauren, okay. Jean Hallinan,
Here.
Bob Shields,
Here.
and Chief Urans is absent this evening. We'll stand for a moment of meditation. And we will have our junior council member lead us in the pledge of allegiance. First item on our, do we have an approval of the agenda first?
A motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Ryan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We have it 6-0. And also approval of the minutes from our July 30th work session meeting. And also our August 6th Borough Council meeting. We have a motion to approve both those.
Make the motion to approve both July 30th work session and August 6th council meeting.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, favors have it 6-0. Next item on our agenda is our public comment and input. So we would like to start off our public comment. Mark, would you like to?
Mine
start
public
it?
comment?
If you'd like to.
Yeah.
Podium here.
Jen, you'll have to toggle back to the Zoom so we can see what Mark shows. Yeah.
Just reduce it probably?
Just go right back to the
Or
Zoom app down the bottom.
I made a request to,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Or the,
yeah, that's up there.
the one on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
see
go.
that request?
And
Oh, beautiful.
Now it's working. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, good.
Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Mark Spatz. I'm here representing Hillside Park. And wanted to take this evening to give everybody an update on the CDBG funds that the borough has allocated to the park. And give everybody an update where we stand with that funding stream. And then make a request for, we have continuing projects, I think that we talked about before. So we're now looking at the next project. And honestly, the one, I think we can update on the one that we have teed up for after that. So again, I'm Mark Spatz, a co-chair on the Hillside Park Board, volunteer, but I'm also a civil engineer that volunteers civil engineering services for the park as well. So I've been kind of helping the park pull these projects together, get them through the county process, and then doing the specifications and whatnot to put them out to bid and everything. The last project we talked about was that the borough approved some time ago was the Hillside Park Community Center paving project. So repaving the parking lot that needed some repavement. That actually just got done, and I have some pictures up here on the screen that you guys can see. So that was done this past week. It started on Monday, and then they actually finished it yesterday. Finish is relative. They finished the paving part yesterday. They did the striping, line striping today. I didn't get pictures of I'll probably go back after this, but this is kind of in progress. Then pulling the parking lot apart. There was a bunch of sections in the parking lot that we needed to cut down through the full section of pavement and treat the underlying subgrade underneath it to proof roll it and get it recompacted so that in the future, the parking lot lasts longer. Because that's usually where pavement cracks up. It's usually a dirt problem underneath it. And then I'm just gonna go through some of these real photos real quick, but you can see the kind of in progress and how there's a decent amount of sections of the existing parking lot that needed to be full depth, so they were in that bad of shape that we need to do full depth replacement and repair on those sections. So I was out there doing inspections as well on it, working with the contractor, American Asphalt. They're also doing a lot of other paving in the area. Just went out to the public bid process. They were the low bidder. So it went through all the normal processes you'd have in place for the controls on that. And obviously, we're working directly with the county on that through that bidding process. The contract is actually through the county. So the borough signed an agreement with the county. So like the contractor's not actually working for the borough. It's not actually working for the park either. The contractor's working for the county, the contractor that went out to public bid and everything. So the borough or the county was integrally involved because they were actually the owner in the agreement, not the owner of the park or the owner of the project, but the owner of the contract. So working closely with the county, you can see, I'll just kind of zoom through some of these because some of these are just my photos. Just for my documentation and record. And if you guys want to see any more details of these, let me know. I'm not gonna bore you with too much because I have other stuff. But you can see here near the end where we paved sections and then finally get here to the final product. That doesn't have the striping on it, so that was as of, I guess, yesterday, or I can't remember. It's been a whirlwind. Very recent, like a day or so ago. I guess they finished it Tuesday, so this was Tuesday afternoon, I believe. So you can kind of see what that's looking like. Again, they did the striping today, so I wish I had photos of that, but I didn't get a chance to run over there before the meeting. So that's that. So we appreciate the park or the borough allocating its funds to it. Just as a reminder, the borough is the owner of the park. Part of that is the senior center. The borough used to own the senior center holistically, or manage the senior center holistically. The park took over management of the senior center in 2020, and the park borough's been, or the park area JRB has been doing it ever since. We actually got some statistics too from the community center. So it is, or the senior center, it is run by, excuse me for email searching here. It is run by the senior programs there are run by the county. The county area agency on aging, and UNC is actually the person that or the contract operator that operates the programs on the day-to-day. So UNC is the United Neighborhood Center, and they, like I said, do the programs. They actually took some survey data because we were looking at some other things, and we were surprised, and I think appropriately surprised, that the service for seniors at the community center, 35% of the seniors that enjoy the senior center on a daily basis or on the average, 35% of those is from the borough. So it's the largest percentage, as you can see out of there, out of South Abington, Clarks Green, Waverly, and Glenburn. The borough by far was the largest senior population that uses the programs out of that building. So I think it's very appropriate. The borough is the owner of the park. You're on the deed. Part of that's the building, and the specific building that the funds are going to, the seniors from the borough themselves are the majority population there. So, you know, if you ask, like, how are these funds benefiting the borough? They're benefiting two ways. It's improvements to a property that the borough owns, and then also the seniors by and large that go there. A majority of them are from the borough itself. You can see here in that statistic. I know it's small on the screen, but you can see there on that information. The next, any questions in regard to that? So that's kind of the past and what we did. The next project that we had on deck similarly was improvements for handicap accessibility and seniors. If you've been over at the Hillside Park Lakeside Pavilion, that's the blue roof pavilion down near the lake at the park. You may have noticed that we have some tripping hazards and safety concerns with the sidewalk, and I'm showing those on the screen right now. You can see kind of outlined there how the concrete is just kind of differentially settled over the years. And some are more settled than others. This one specifically, although it's not as tall as this hazard that's here, this one actually gets the most issue is this one. This is right as you enter the pavilion, and we have the Wednesday night concerts at this pavilion, by and large attended by seniors. And we've had people trip over it. One gentleman tripped and hit his head and he was bloody and the ambulance had to come and things like that. So it's a true concern. More recently, we hope, people rent the pavilion and have had parties. We solved at one point, somebody put a little trip hazard sign for their guests that rented the pavilion that day. So it's kind of a recognized issue. We submitted this to the county for the next project. That is going through the process, and you can see here just, the people that it gets pretty packed. If you've ever been at those concerts, you'll see it's an elderly population there typically. There's a mix as is shown here, but there's definitely an elderly population there and some nursing homes, not nursing homes, but some of the 65 plus homes all bring people there to enjoy the concerts. But we submitted this project to the county. They submitted it to the state. They feel like this project will be approved and it's an eligible project. So I think at this point, what the park needs to really get from the borough is the borough's blessing on this project as well, right? So this would be just like we did with this senior center paving project. This would be kind of the next in line. We are estimating that this project will cost most likely, so we're estimating it's going to be less than $72,000. This is our estimate for it. We think we're going to be able to beat this paving, this concrete leveling number. So it's a number of things. It's not only leveling the concrete, but the area floods out when there's a heavy rain. You can see it, especially in the winter when the ground's not as accepting of water because the ground's kind of frozen. And that's leading to, why is this the concrete differentially settling? Because it goes through these freeze and thaw cycles underneath the concrete because water is pooling there. So there's a two-prong, like why is the concrete different? It's because of so you got to handle both. You got to handle the water issue and then also the concrete's messed up now at this point, so we need to handle that. So it's installing drainage tile around it and then doing along the edge of the pavilion, there's kind of a lip that also causes issue. We would pave around the edge of the pavilion to bring handicap accessibility and senior accessibility, a little smoother of a transition all the way around the building, not just right at the paved entrance sign. And then some grading restoration, things of that nature. So this is our project estimate that we submitted to the county. And it seems like it's on its way to approval. And we'd be asking the borough for its blessing to move forward with this project. That would get asked in a very formal way once we have the county approval. If you remember, for the paving project, Joe from the county came, and there's an actual resolution that needed to be passed, basically authorizing the county to do the project on the borough's behalf and to be the applicant for the bidding. So that would be from the county standpoint, but we wanted to get the borough's feedback now on it so that when it's time for that to come, it's not the first time you're hearing it. The deadline to use these funds, we're still under pressure. The deadline to use these funds is by February 2026. So we have a little bit of time, but if municipal and public bidding, it takes time. And the winter's coming, things don't go quick. The county did ask for an extension on those funds. So if we don't use them, we're going to lose them by the borough will lose them by 2026, by that February 2026 deadline. The county again did ask for an extension from the state, but we did not. The borough did not receive a approval of that yet. So we're hopeful that approval will be granted, but it's not for sure yet. So again, as we're rolling out the end of the summer here, we're gonna get things in line. And so if Joe comes back and says, yeah, the project was approved, but we didn't get the extension. There's a lot of stuff at the federal government going on right now that it's, you definitely want to get allocated funds used and not sit on them. They could be lost. So we're not sure that the extension, but worst case, or not worst case, but there could be definitely a scenario where they say the project's approved, but the extension wasn't. We got to get this done before February 2026. So that's where we're at on that. Is there any questions about the project? In general, that project in general?
Do you remember the amount of expiring funds we have in February? It's 40,000 or something like that is my recollection. So this project would use up those expiring funds, but then also a portion of the following year's expiring funds, if I remember correctly.
I think it's, I have to double check. I thought it was more than 40,000.
It might be.
Yeah,
I honestly don't remember. I mean, in total, we have something like $400,000 in money. It just all expires at different times.
Right.
I can get back to you on that answer. I've been tracking, if I have it here in the email quick. I know I definitely have the answer to answer your question. It's just how quickly can I pull it up here?
Yeah.
Because I have a little chart that I've been tracking this stuff with. For what the borough has funding wise, and then when the expiring year is, but I think it's more than 40,000. I think it's like 85,000. I think it's a whole chunk of funding. So we definitely want to get it lined up. I'll just kind of thumb through this a little bit more and see if I can find that chart. I just had it up here a little bit ago. Any other questions when I do this?
Actually, Mark, what you would like council to do is to do our vote to approve this tonight, so we can get the reals actually
Yeah.
in for this.
So, I wouldn't be presumptuous to tell council what to do, but ultimately I am looking for the green light to move forward with this. So if there's any questions, comments, or concerns, we're actively spending effort. I'm actively spending effort on it. As long as we're going in the right direction, and the council's not gonna, we don't want to get to a spot like, hey, that was great, you spent all this effort, but yeah, we're not gonna approve that. If that's the case, the sooner the better that I know that, because I'm spending effort to do this on my own time. And here,
I did find an email that I have for the funds, and we're looking at, what year we're looking at?
yeah, so like right here, we should have this.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, so it should be $86,415. So you can see here, these are the borough's funds for that we began allocated here. So this 85,000 here at the top, these funds expire at the end of this month. But the paving project will use those and draw those funds down. The paving project, I think we're gonna end at 95,000 for that project. So that will use these funds and a portion of these, which is good. And this is like just rough, where I basically looked at each year of the funding, what the allocation is, the funding year. Here's the expiration dates you can see. So 9/25/25, that's the ones for the paving project. Then this is 2/17/26. So it's not even at the end of February, it's mid-February. So it's coming quick. And then I can talk about this next project as well. And once we get past the 2020, 2021, and 2022 years, then, we start getting expiration dates of, even this one, 2027, and that it's not as much of a time crunch. And then we get 2028, 2029, 2030. So it gets it's not so time sensitive. But you can see here on that for this 2021, so it would be the 86,000. It'd be a little less than that because we'd be using some of these for the paving project, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I can talk about this other senior repairs project as well.
I'm rather certain, I don't know, I doubt anyone's gonna remember this specifically, but we certainly took some action in the initial request to allocate funds toward this paving project.
Right.
At least a year before we then had to vote on the actual resolution to enter into the agreement with the county. So I think, Mark, that's probably the ask you want to make is that we decide if we're willing to allocate those funds. It doesn't
Right.
bind us to then approving a resolution later on. It just states our intention to allocate those dollars so that you can continue.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, I came, when we did the paving project, we got, the borough voted to authorize it. And it was always, hey, you get a second bite at the apple. So if your mind would change, things would change, and that when the county we would let the county know where they came. But, even that night of, if Joe came and said, hey, I need this authorizing resolution for the thing, you technically could, if you don't pass that resolution, we can't do it.
Mhm.
So you get the second bite at the apple, for that.
The only thing I would have some concerns with is this is public comment. There's nothing on the agenda with you speaking, nor is there anything on the agenda regarding funds to Hillside Park. So that, I think you can gauge and get the temperature of council, but I don't think we can vote on anything if it's not on the agenda. I think that would be a violation of the Sunshine Act.
Understood.
Kevin, is that correct?
It would be, so.
I'm sorry, oh my God, I always do that, but you're always so gracious to respond. Drew,
no,
is
so-
that correct?
Essentially, council can, it's almost like an agreement to agree. Council would not be bound until we sign the resolution with the county. So as long as there's no issues from council this evening, again, I think you can kind of gauge.
Yeah, that's really.
You have to use the funds anyway,
Right,
but
So we
council would
can-
not be bound, so I would say that for the October meeting, we should, if we can have the county at that point in time. I'm not, do you have a timeframe on when the county will be back with finalization of this?
Well, I'm gonna, I would think over the next month, we'll know. I asked Joe, a week or so ago, he said it's at the state, they're in their funding, I guess, oversight mode, because all the projects are taking place. It seems like should be ramping down off of that. We'll place some emphasis, since February is coming up, we don't have the extension yet, technically. And I don't know I really don't know if it's gonna be approved or not. I would hope it would be, but you never know. So we should know within the next month, hopefully. I don't know for sure, but I would say this fall at the minimum, especially if you need an extension, because we do get to a spot where it's like, if we're not gonna pass the extension, we can't get this.
So my recommendation would be to put it on the agenda and for the work session and for the October meeting. Council can then, I approve. If Joe is, we reach out to Joe in the meantime, see when he has a time frame on the county coming back. And then that would satisfy the Sunshine Act.
and it can't just go, I guess, under public comment, correspondence that has to be specifically itemized on there.
Yes, there's gonna be a vote, but again, we have, the council, it's not gonna be binding upon council until there's a national resolution, so. Until Joe comes to us with that resolution, we can't have done anyway, but as long as there's no. Council has any issues tonight about the details of the project, we can certainly ask. I recommend we put it on for the work session in October, reach out to Joe in the meantime, see if we can get it done before October, so we don't lose the $80,000 of
Right.
funding.
Mark, without an extension, are we able to, is the county able to act quickly enough, in your opinion, to be able to make this happen so we don't?
Yeah,
lose funds?
they can act very quickly once the approval is done.
And I asked that question because we have no other project that's near
Right.
ready enough to be able to move on
allocate these
to use
funds.
these funds.
I'm not-
We do not.
That's not exactly true. I do believe that there was an email circulated from, Mr. Ravinsky said that we have a solar crosswalk project on State Street, and that could be a viable option, as long as we got our engineer involved with it.
So
Right, but
that's a
this
project that
one's
needs
already
engineering
now.
and a traffic study, if I recall correctly.
does.
So that will be nowhere near ready to approve in that timeframe with those contingencies required. This project, we have the engineering mostly done on.
And we also had, I believe, Ms. Dempsey came to us about issues with our parks here in Clark Summit too.
But that's the same issues that we would be back to square one. That project isn't viable as this one is right here, right now, to utilize $80,000 worth of funding.
Well, we can keep our options open.
We can keep our options open,
Keep
but
our
we have
options
funding
open
that's going
right
to
now.
expire. And quite frankly, we've had funding expire in the past because we played this game. And I, for one, am tired of seeing funding that's available to our residents
As am I.
expire because we want to play games.
That's fine.
And-
We can see what they have to, see what the
And-
engineer can do.
And a reminder, it's not like this is the last funding. You
Right,
know, you still have $87,613, $87,640, $86,300. So it's not like this is the last. Every time we, the park, your park, because I want to make sure we're making that connection here. Every time your park, this park, of which you have other parks too, I get it, comes to the borough, there's always this. Now, if these funding stream stops and we get down to the bottom, then that would, if that's the case, but theoretically, you keep receiving additional funding if CDBG continues,
So it sounds like there's a lot of money. So there could be multiple projects. We could do the park for the
Yeah,
Hillside
it's-
Park for 72. We could do our parks. We could do the traffic. We could do the crosswalk. So let's just start getting our engineer involved with all the projects and kind of seeing the options that are out there.
Yeah, you can definitely get,
Because we don't need the money tonight. You can't have it tonight because that's something you really can't vote on. It can't be approved by the
yeah,
county.
right.
He understands that, we're telling you we're voting on it next month because we're at risk of losing $80,000.
And I would just like to make a comment. I just left Hillside Park because I coach cheer. And I see firsthand the amounts of people that come and utilize that beautiful pavilion. So
Yeah.
I appreciate all of your hard work on this project. So thank you very much.
No, I appreciate the borough's support. I mean, I think one of the things that I'm able to do volunteering wise that I think helps the project and the borough as well is like, I'm in my house adjacent to the park, right? My kids use the park and everything. So I think the advantage of another advantage of using any funds that are allocated for use at Hillside Park, you're getting the engineering for free. Because either the park is paying for the project, but honestly, I'm doing it as a volunteer.
We appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Well, it's the least I can do. I mean, this is the easy part to some extent if you need me to come up with $90,000, that's not gonna happen. But I can do the engineering.
So, Mark, if we can vote on this in our October
Yeah,
meeting, you're shovel ready to go with it.
As the process unfolds, I just wanna make sure we don't wanna get to October and this be the first time you're hearing about it.
Exactly.
Right, so we get the ball rolling, and we can go from there. I do have another project I can introduce quick do you wanna, okay. And this one's a little further off into the future. But there's the senior center, also has additional repair, things it needs. So you can see we have, molding around the can lighting exterior. We have some drywall, from the ceiling. You got mold issues up there. Just more photos of that, we got the, brick and patio settlement outside. Obviously that can be issues, for seniors. Some more of that issue. Going down, there's areas all around the building where it needs to be repointed. So basically the grout has wore out from in between the blocks and the brick. You can see that here. That's all needs to be repointed. The sliding, this is all just repointing work. The door thresholds are rusting out. We have the box gutter. The gutter is not conventional that I'm used to. It's like a framed wooden box at the end of the roof that's like integral to the building. And then there's a membrane like a rubber membrane like you'd see on flat roof buildings that's in there. That membrane cracks and leaks. We keep getting it repaired, but we need to do it more. You can see where that leaks down through, then it washes all the pointing and grouting out, and then eventually the bricks will start to fall out. You can see that here, there, and just a bunch of photos of kind of the same thing, but it's different areas. So trying to show that it's not like just one spot, it's all around the building.
Right.
The door that opens, the main entrance door, is one of those like grocery store doors that you walk to where it sends you and just kind of opens like Star Trek. Those are really expensive. I've learned they're like 15 grand a pop. All the threshold underneath the door is all rotting out. You can actually see through the bottom of the door at this point. Like if you get down, you can actually see underneath the threshold to the other side. It's an aluminum door, but it's been there for long enough that threshold's rotting out, and it actually causes the door to jam. So we have to keep getting back in there and like pound the threshold down because it bubbles up, and we have to do that every 6 months. It's difficult to fix because you can't really get in there. So the door, we've consulted with the door manufacturer, and they really need to pull the whole door assembly out and replace the threshold and put another door assembly back in. All the blinds are in deteriorated, not, they don't the blinds don't work anymore. So they're kind of at where they're at. This is that box threshold gutter, so it's not just like a normal aluminum gutter. And then the light poles, none of the lights got hit by the tree near the parking lot, got hit by lightning, and it blew out all the ballast on the lights, all of the things. So it's like 15 grand to fix all that. So that's another project that we've submitted to the county. That cost estimate's $121,000 for all those repairs all in. And again, my cost estimate's always conservative. Like we're always, so typically we're trying to come in less than that, but that's my, conservative cost estimate for that. Again, that would be the next funding year. So the funds would expire in 2027, September 2027. So we have some time,
Right.
but that's the next project that we have on the radar as well. And you can see I have two others there, that we're just getting lined up. And like I said, we'll have more time, and obviously the borough, can kind of allocate, funds this way or another way. We just, from the park standpoint, we want to make sure that, the borough shouldn't have funds that expire and don't get used. We have a need. If you don't have a project or a need, we definitely do. You own the park. There's no way we should be letting these funds out of use. I feel like my job is to make sure you're aware of these projects, and we're here. So.
And I think, we have the crosswalk on our agenda here.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that. What you just shared is a project alongside that one potentially. Perhaps something in another playground. I would be skeptical that would meet the requirements of CDBG funds, but nevertheless, these are the competing projects we can consider for funds that will expire in 2027, 2028. But for our 2026 expiring allocation, my opinion is that this is a project we can fund that's ready to go, and none of these others are likely to be. So when it's on our agenda, that will be my very strong feeling. And I think, we have an opportunity to do multiple projects with the remaining money that we have, as we might identify eligible.
Yeah,
And just one thing I just want to say. I use the park, my kids use the park, we take walks around the lake, it's a beautiful place. Last week we got unaudited budget numbers, and as of today, for a year to date, we are off $50,000 with our income. We have expenses that are over $150,000 than we had budgeted for last year. Now, if we can use grant money to plug up our budget and not raise taxes on our residents, that means something to me. So I would, if we had all the money in the world, we could give it to everybody, but I think we have to, try to work with what we have. And if we can use it to help the residents in Clark Summit not raise their taxes, I think that's something we need to do.
The big thing with CDBG is just the funds can only be used for low to moderate income districts. From what I understand, the borough has done surveys for that, and not meeting those, luckily, you don't have that much low income that you're not meeting those thresholds. It's kind of a good thing. It doesn't allow you to use the CDBG funds for those areas. But like in the park, the only reason we're able to use these because it's either senior center focused or handicap improvements. So for the park areas, you'd have to, like if you have other parks and there's handicap improvements you can make, but it has to be focused to just handicap stuff.
And
That's always
and that's something our engineer can look into.
right. That's always
And that's the hard part, is it is.
It is. That's the hard part.
It's not like we throw it anywhere, and we've learned that over the years.
And
That's why we're
we
so
have,
fortunate to have a
It's
project that
nothing
meets
new.
all the criteria that's ready to go.
we have raised ideas for projects
Yes.
every single year. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only other project we've ever been able to fund was that door that leads to the elevator itself, correct?
I've
Because
heard
that is,
about a block or two in our area
Yeah.
that's been able to been either, like the sidewalks redone, that's it.
Yeah, so
It's been
I
so
did try to
minimal.
chase, so we thought we'd have excess funds for the pavement project this year that we have to spend quickly. We have the handicap accessibility for the door to the food pantry to put like a mechanism on there. We sent that to the state. I sent that to the state. So you know, trying to get that, and they came back and say, no, that would have to be publicly bid. Because the work to put the door in, you know, had to meet public, which is ridiculous. The door is only, it's like $4,000, $6,000 to put the mechanism in.
Right.
You don't put out. If you ask your engineer to put that out to bid, it's gonna cost you like $2,000 to put out, and that's a good price. It usually would be like 6 or more. So I don't wanna, but it really bugs me that such a small project like that would have to be put out to public bid, but that was the answer we got back. We pushed back, we called the state to push back with Mitzi on that. We got nowhere. They were like, no, it has to be bid, it has to be bid. We said, that's ridiculous in a polite, professional way,
Sure.
but it was still has to be bid. So that's where that's at. So that's, that project I would keep. And if you do like the crosswalks or some other, I would bundle it in. Because it alone, it's, I mean, you can bid it, it just, there's a lot of effort to bid for $6,000.
Sure.
So we were trying to move, and that's not a park project, right? We're trying to move the ball forward on that. But it seems like the handicapped, walkway thing, and then and other stuff, it just, there's more lift there to do. Unfortunately, I talked to Councilman Mitchell about this. I'd be happy to help the borough with projects like sending the stuff to the state as a part of like a volunteer effort, just because I appreciate that. But like, I can't do a traffic study. First of all, that's outside my area of expertise. Like, I can't volunteer to that level. I'm not a traffic engineer. So there's certain things that, the stuff at the park, they're pretty paving, concrete, that's basic civil engineering stuff. So, any other questions? Comments, concerns?
I think you have covered every base on this.
All right, thank you. Sorry for taking up so much.
Thank you.
public
Thank
comment
you so
here
much.
tonight. Everybody's attention.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate all your good help with the borough here.
No, thank you for the support.
Okay. And do we have someone else who would like to address council?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for your time. My name is Gary Rosencrantz. I'm here as a concerned resident, parent, a youth, sports coach, a friend. I live on 212 Bissell Street. I've been there since 2013. A daily occurrence at my residence is primarily kids between the ages of 11 and 15 walking down my cul-de-sac and accessing a path that leads to businesses down in the Route 6 area, Browns Gym, McDonald's, you know, so to speak. As of mid-July, the resident of that property put up no trespassing signs that, you know, to be honest, they're probably reserved for undesirables that really aren't using the path. Like I said, these are kids who are exercising their independence. They're taking a convenient, safe way to walk down to those businesses. Since those signs have been up, I've seen countless kids knock on the door, ask to use it, be turned away. My concern when they're turned away is they have to walk up to Knapp. They're on the busy road, they're next to caregivers, they're navigating through that embankment. You know, it's a safety concern. I've addressed it with the resident. You know, there's some unsubstantiated claims that there's kids riding their bikes. I see kids get off their bike and walk down. It's too steep to navigate with a bike, but I suggest maybe putting no bikes up, you know. But like I said, it's a safety concern. I'm worried for kids. This is a path that has been in use for years. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I know there's prescriptive easements. If things are in use for 21 years, that give residents the right to use the path. I'm here before council for recommendations for, you know, the safe access of that area for our youth.
Do you have any suggestions for any alternative ways? I don't think that we can get involved with the property owner, their land, their private property. We can't.
I mean, the alternatives are, you know, walking up to I won't even let my kid cross by Manning's there by that busy intersection. There's so much traffic. I tell them go up to Everything Natural, use that crosswalk. But now you're adding considerable amount of time and an effort, you know, to then you have to come across it at Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, either way, there's 4 lanes of highway there. You know, like I said, it's it's something that's been in use. I think the other part of it is that the resident's been there for 10 years. And in 2018, petitioned council to put a street light up for the access to that path, so it was visible for people using it in the evening hours. So, you know, I feel that, you know, that path has been in use, that there is prescriptive easement laws in PA. It's been in use, I mean, forever. And, you know, my father-in-law who lived in Abington utilized it. So it's something that, you know, as I see these kids get turned away, I just hope they don't get, you know, hit by a car or something, trying to navigate a way that's just not as easy as that, unfortunately.
Thank you for your concern, Mr. Rosen.
And the person that has the no trespassing, he's in that circle then?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
It's the end of the cul-de-sac and it's in between
Exactly,
two
yeah.
properties. And it's, you know, a brief, you know, throughway to the path,
Right, yeah.
so.
Does he share the path with another neighbor?
No, I think it's just, it borders them. It comes, there's some trees that are right there. They use the tree line and that's it.
I understand your concern, because as a mom, my heart stops when I see boys walking, because there's no sidewalk or anything.
No.
Exactly.
Where
yeah.
you described, yeah.
Yeah,
It's scary.
it is scary. And it's a bankment. There's, you know, there's weeds and other stuff and it's just not a great place to be walking.
Yeah,
There's really not a lot of space there, so.
My
Shannon,
kids
for
always,
both
yeah,
properties, is that a loophole that it could belong to both properties then, or no? Does it solely seem like it's just this one property owners?
It would depend on where the path was and where they're entering. So it'd have to be, I actually know, I mean, I used that path as a kid, walking down there myself, so I know what you're talking about. I have to look at exactly where
yeah.
the pathway is in relation to the property boundaries.
Mhm.
So I think once we're able to look at that on an actual map, on a grid, to determine what that is, we maybe have a better answer for you as far as what kind of alternatives.
Do you know of any prescriptive easement laws within Pennsylvania that would allow for the use of that? Just because it's been established and been going for so long.
I think the first thing you gotta do is gotta get a survey. You gotta find out who owns what. Because if you don't know who owns what, then that's
Well, I think we know who owns the property.
like a,
But-
sorry.
I think if we're able to kind of look at exactly where this is in relation to the property owner's boundaries,
You need to see the lot lines.
we'll be able to give you a better answer as far as any easement concerns, because I don't want to give you the wrong answer
Yeah,
tonight
no,
without
I know,
knowing
like
that.
I said, it's a safety concern. I'm here tonight to bring it to your attention, that's all.
yeah.
Jen, can we at least start there then, looking at that on that? Or is that more through?
Hey.
No, I can look into it.
Okay,
I can look into it, so that we can give you an answer one way or the other and try to give some direction to the kids and being able to access the businesses down there in a safe fashion.
Thanks,
And
everyone.
you're exactly right as far as the fact how many years it's been. My kids used to go to Pizza Hut.
Yes,
Always
Yeah.
take that same path all the way down.
we
So
miss
it
pizza,
was
right?
fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. But we'll definitely look into that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for addressing. it. Okay, do we have someone else who would like to address council?
Good evening, everyone. Mark Cordelli, Lackawanna County. I'd like to share with you some wonderful events that are going on through Lackawanna County. Also, if there's any questions afterwards. For example, tomorrow, our Career Link, located down on 135 Franklin Avenue, is having a job fair, a workforce day, a hiring event, outdoor event. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. out in their parking lot right there on, again, Franklin Avenue. Last year, they had Rock 107 as far as music, providing music. There was some food trucks, but also a lot of good employers looking for employees. So
What time does that start?
10 a.m. to 2.
10 till 2, right?
Yes, ma'am. And I'll leave these flyers here with Jen.
Oh, perfect.
So
Thank
you'll
you.
have it, all this information. This Saturday, the 6th, at 12 p.m., the Spring Iron Furnaces are coming alive. The Menzinger Good Things Are Happening Fest is going to kick off again, resurrecting what happened down many, many years ago. Down at the Iron Furnaces, there's lots of bands. I'm not gonna go through all of them for sake of time. But you can look at them and it's guaranteed to be a very, very good time on the sixth. Our rail riders are 4 games in first place with 15 games to go. And we have one more, take the trolley down to see their rail riders on Sunday, the 14th. So hopefully root them on or go have a good hot dog or enjoy the beautiful weather. So that's a wonderful time to take the trolley down instead of battling the traffic down 81 South. Friday, September 19th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Our Area Agency on Aging is having their joint senior expo 2025. There will be over 70 vendors. It's going to be held at the Marketplace, the Steamtown Mall. Free parking. There's going to be lots of legislative senators, representatives, everybody's going to be there, as well as I said, 70 vendors there. Free lunches for those people who meet the criteria for our Area Agency on Aging. So it's a wonderful, wonderful time there. Our Steamtown Trolley, back to that, is concluding a very, very successful summertime special events. For example, if you heard me say in June, it was Bluey. July was the cast from Wicked, Elphaba and Glenda. This past month, it was Batman. In September, it's going to be Elsa and Anna from Frozen. The times for the departure of the trolley are right here. If you're interested, take a look at that. Our recycling department, environmental sustainability, is having a household hazardous waste event. This is a free event, meaning there's not going to be any electronics or tires at this event. With those particular products, there is a cost. These items here that are on here, and again, I'm gonna leave this here, you can take a look at it to find out exactly. I'm not gonna go through each one of them for you. Are free, so you can, residents of Lackawanna County can come and drop these off. It's going to be held on Sunday, September 28th, up at the pavilion, the big parking lot of Montage Mountain. They do ask, pre-registration is required, so there's a QR code here. If anybody is interested, all you have to do is scan that, collect the time. That is good for you to come on up. Some of the product that they're looking to help you get rid of, automotive fluids, batteries, lithium batteries, floor and furniture polish, propane tanks, liquid mercury. Someone already handed me one of these from a different municipality. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even carry mercury. Don't drop it, Mark. Okay. Anyway, but there's many other items here to take a look at for that. Our recorder of deeds, Evie Rafalco, and her wonderful team has launched it's relatively new program about identity theft. We all know about our credit cards and other things that are being stolen, social security numbers. Well, criminals are diversing themselves and now starting to get into taking people's mortgages and or their deeds, their property. So this is a instruction list, and I'll bring some flyers up to you tomorrow. They're trifold flyers that they can pass out. It's a free program you can sign up for with the county, that if you think your identity is being tapped into or somebody's trying to steal your house from you, there's action that they can help protect that from you. This is a repeat, but it's coming to a quick close. Register of Wills and Marriage License, extending their hours on the last Thursday of each month. This is going to go through October. So their hours will be extended from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the last Thursday of each month for those who are getting married and also those who might need a real ID, which is going to be needed to travel around on airplanes. And lastly, the trolley. If anybody has children and or yourself, if you want to have a birthday party at the Trolley Museum, you can contact them and they'll be more than happy to entertain that idea. Any question for me? That's all I have there. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully I didn't take too much of your time. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
This is,
Oh, thank you.
they've extended that.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Oh,
Thank
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. We can put that on our webpage, yeah. And do we have anyone else who would like to address the meeting?
No, I said you know, so my bad.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chip. I live on Depot Street. I've been having problems with the parking there because I don't know if you guys are in charge of South Abington Township. Like, I know you guys aren't your Clark Summit, but the police, they come and park their cars in that little lot, which is meant for me, like the residents there and the employees of the art studio, the, what do they call it? The bar and the Sunshine Cafe. When they park there, it moves to Sunshine Cafe, because usually it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I have to go to school. So I'm like, okay, I don't really care. But when I come back from school, like around noonish, they're still there. I know they probably have stuff going on with the art police department down here. And it just, and so the employees of them move over to my spot because their spots are getting taken by one or two cars. It's very tight back there. And I don't feel like having people towed because one, that's an inconvenience to me. I don't want them to be mad at me for having their car towed because I pay monthly rent to that spot. I get my one parking spot. I don't try to take up any more than I need to. And I just would like, I don't know, like to expand the police parking lot or at least give them, to tell Chief Yarns to like, tell the South Abington if they could just, either park on the sidewalk. I know they don't do the whole put a quarter in the token or thing because too much paperwork. I understand that part. But like, it's just an inconvenience to me. It's an inconvenience to the people that work there because like I said, everything gets moved over and you know, there's only so much parking back there. And when people start parking like sideways on that street, so it's like car and then a car this way,
Exactly.
I'm taking out the bushes. I don't want to take out the bushes. They're nice bushes. I have a Toyota. It's a wide car. So like, I'm taking out bushes and I'm like, I don't want to do that. One ruins my car, ruins their bushes. But it's just, that's all I'm asking is like, if you could mention Chief Yarns, hey, can you tell the police chief to tell their guys to not park in that little section? Just, that's all. Like I talked to Chief Yarns about other stuff, like, some of his officers are just, you know, have illegal tint on their cars. I don't want to be that person, but like, I need tint for my car. I'm trying to get it because I have really bad eyesight during night time, stars and everything. And unfortunately, I came from Tennessee here and I had to take it all off because Tennessee laws are different than PA laws.
Right.
Tennessee laws is like 50%, here is like 30%. So obviously I have to go through legal channels. So there's just stuff that like, I wish, like, I know you guys aren't in charge of South Abington, but like I said, if you could just mention Chief Yarns to tell them, hey, could you please not park back there? Because everything, I don't have the time. I don't want to tow anybody. I will if I have to, but I don't want people mad at me for parking in my spot. That's all.
Is it stated private parking
It says,
here?
there's, so how it is there's that, it's the bar, then there's that new business. I don't know what it's called. It's the drawing business.
Right.
But it's two spots there. And then it says for customers and employees parking lot. And then for like the Sunshine Cafe, which is usually the two spots right in front of their dumpster, and then like the 4 spots that they can reach or 3 spots.
Right.
And usually they are all taken up. Sometimes I usually let them know like, hey, I'm not gonna be home until like 4 o'clock. You can take my spot. But some days, like, you know, class gets let out early or class is canceled or something. I like to go home and rest or do homework or just anything else.
Sure.
I don't want to have to start knocking on everybody because I have done it where I've gone to the bar, I went down all 4 of those businesses asking whose car this is because it's in my spot.
Yeah.
And I don't have 20, 30 minutes to kill like that. Like, I know I'm young, I have time and stuff, but like, not everybody has 24 hours in a day. Your 24 hours is the same as mine, so.
Sure, exactly.
And I just,
Who granted you this right to the parking space? Is it part of your lease?
it's part of my lease, yes,
Okay, so you have a landlord
I do.
and it's in the lease, you're entitled to.
It says I'm entitled to this one parking spot. And she just sold it. I have a new landlord, but it's in the same lease. She showed me this is my parking spot. Like I've been living there since 3 years ago. I started living there. She's like, this is your parking spot. Pretty much, if someone parks here, let me know. I'll try to find who it is, but you know, sometimes you don't answer. I mean, I'm not trying to bother her, especially in the beginning where it's like every day, it was like someone was parking there, whether it was a customer, employee of the shop. eventually got better, but now it's like starting to get back to the part where it's everybody's just moving over. I'm just like, I'm most of the time I can find them, but once again, I shouldn't have to go out my way to fight for my one parking spot. Like,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you have a right to it under
Yeah.
your contract. You pay money for the rent. So I think the person you really should talk to is your landlord. And maybe she could speak with the South
well,
Abington police.
now that she just sold it out to someone else, so I have to talk to her.
If you signed the lease, then you'll have a new landlord,
Yeah.
and then you can talk to that new landlord. explain
But
that.
like, if you could just mention to Chief Yarms, hey, could you tell the chief of South Abington Township, could you not park where the restaurant is? Just so we have an extra parking spot for the employees.
And then again,
Yeah, and then there's also the tenant in that other place that's between the Sunshine Cafe and the bar, because they also have their own parking spot. And you know, I'm just trying to help myself out and then everybody else because,
sure.
Yeah, it's your parking space.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. Okay. And do we have anyone else who would like to address council?
Yeah, I do.
Sure.
With the assessment, you guys will have to determine new millage, correct? Like the millage won't stay the same with our new assess.
No, you're not gonna have to pay. It's not gonna be 10 times the rate or anything like that.
Okay, and when it's you guys that decide what the millage is, correct?
I think we can, Jen maybe, or if Drew might be able, we can change it a little bit, I think. But then if we do, it's gonna have to go in the next budget. We'll have to vote on it.
Well, that's what I was wondering. When you do that, is that done in a work session so the citizens can hear?
Oh, the citizens will be here for all of that, yes. That's, I think we have a budget and we'll raise in taxes and they'll be posted and notices given and all that. So if you have an objection to raising taxes, feel free to come.
Oh, yeah, I think most people would, especially with everything.
Yeah, we can't sneak anything by us. So it's gonna be all put out there for the public to see and know about.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay,
I have one quick other thing. while I was
absolutely,
hanging out.
Mark. you've got
I just
your
wanna wait
way
for
to
everybody.
do
With so South Abington Township, I just want to put it on the borough's radar. South Abington Township submitted an application to do paving and extend the sidewalk from the library to all the way down past Hillside Park to the main entrance of the park. So that would formalize a walking path from the library down. And then also the park is working, and part of that, it was a $3 million multimodal application grant that went in. The park helped secure letters of support, so on and so forth. The park is also looking to connect a path from the park to the high school and down to Gravel Pond Road, which is a pretty low access or low traffic road, to make some connectivity there for honestly the kids to run through that area. They kind of go on 307 now. It's not very safe. I feel your pain here. We don't want kids on video games, but our community is not very walkable. And it's hard for kids to get around, and sometimes it gets harder. So it doesn't align, and it's like, well, all these kids are on video games all the time. It's like, well, no kidding, because you don't let them go anywhere. I guess on my radar is the connection from on Grove Street where the sidewalk ends in the borough to up to the library. That section on Grove Street, I think it's where your house is. Well, that's Grove Street, right?
Yeah.
That's just normal Grove
There's a
Street.
small section of that area that's the borough. It ends at the Azar property,
Okay,
by the golf course.
it doesn't end at the library.
It does not.
Okay,
So I don't know that that's accurate. I don't think South Abington would have submitted a multimodal that went all the way to the library, because that's that section of Borough Road.
correct. They're going down to the pavement, but the borough,
Where
the
the pavement
library.
ends is the line.
Okay. But I'm talking about Grove Street on, the east side of 307. From basically Clark 7 Elementary up to that intersection. That is not a walkable, path. It's a state road.
it.
Ultimately, it's on my radar that if the South Abington is successful in acquiring that grant, or even if they're not, that would be a worthwhile section to extend sidewalk or whatever, to make that a more walkable path, to get from the end of the sidewalk that's on Grove, or doesn't really end at Clark 7 Elementary, it goes up a little bit farther.
Right.
But for all intent and purpose, let's say from Clark Elementary up to that light on 307 on Grove Street. We'll see where this goes, but it's on my radar. I was gonna, kind of push it from the park board because the park board's not, we've historically managed Hillside Park, but our charter is not just Hillside Park. It's the Abington Area Joint Recreation Board. We are not confined to the park itself. If South Abington's able to get that grant, and we can do that from the library, man, making that connection from that sidewalk at Clark Sullivan Elementary to there would really make a nice big loop that would make a nice walkable loop. So we would need the borough's support. It's a state road. I would be doing what I can, like I do for the CDBG stuff, to bring it to fruition. But I just wanted to get it on the borough's radar. Nothing specific at this moment, but it was something. I just want to make sure that project's on your radar, and then something to think about. So the next, when it comes time, but again, it's not the first time you're hearing it. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Next item on our agenda is our police report. And our chief is absent tonight. But, we do have a report here.
The only thing that I noticed to ask the chief is the overtime hours in August were quite a bit higher than the last 2 years.
He did talk to me today really quickly. He wanted me to say if anybody asked, there was a lot of training this month that was over the amount that it normally is, and vacation time.
Vacation.
The only big picture concern I have, though, is Bob raised where we are relative to the budget. If I recall correctly, we're trending over on our overtime, and we actually cut our police overtime last year relative to his request. So, seeing overtime be high is not going to accomplish hitting our budget number.
I hear you. I do. He just wanted me to reflect that, but I'm sure you can ask him more. And he'll be able to answer it more in depth.
That's all I have.
No? Yeah. Next item is our bids and quotes. We don't have any of those, right? And then our borough treasurer report. Do we have any? Do we have a motion to?
For motion to approve the borough treasurer's report.
Thank you, Ronnie. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Chief,
Jean.
you have it?
Okay. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? They just have it.
We don't have a vendor report. We'll have it next time. Kevin wasn't able to get it done on Tuesday.
Nothing under old business, under new business.
This is all over here.
Oh, okay, was our resolution 2025. Berkheimer.
And here, prior to getting into the old business, I would ask to have an executive session relative to potential litigation on the property matter.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. The next is our trash.
Do you want to do
So we're
that?
doing it now.
That's good. The executive session prior to discussing the business.
Since he wants to do the executive session.
We'll do that now then.
It's gonna pause.
Sure.
And then I'll take us off YouTube. And I'm sorry, everybody has to just head out of the room just while we're in executive session, and then you're welcome to come back in. Just a little pause. Can you pause this?
Thank you again.
I'm not sure. Go to the live stream. You gotta end the live stream.